Good evening. Welcome to This Week in Review. Tonight's stories include: I had an interview with our MHA, the Honorable David Gilbert. Work has finally resumed on the Senior Citizens Complex. We checked out progress being made on the renovations to the Ground Search and Rescue building. St. John Central High School students have, after 12 years, published another school yearbook. And more, so please stay with us. First tonight, our MHA, the Honorable David Gilbert, was in town on Monday and Tuesday of this past week. We spoke about the Charlottetown Accord and, of course, the fishery. Welcome back to our studio once again, Mr. Gilbert.
Thank you, David. It's nice to be back. It's always nice to come to Virgil. I feel that, I can notice right now in talking to people that there seems to be more of a concern in the air, and so I suppose it's understandable when people are looking forward to are looking forward, I suppose, or to a not very bright future unless we get some of the problems resolved that we have here with the plant.
Okay, first of all, most of Canada will be going to the polls on Monday, October 26th, to vote either for or against the Charlottetown Accord. As our MHA, how would you advise residents of this area to vote?
Well, David, I've had a long concern with the successive governments in Canada spending too much time on trying to put a perfect charter or a perfect constitution in place for us, because the Constitution is the thing of the people. The Constitution is the thing that your basic rights. If people feel that they're not getting their basic rights, they have a way to change it. They can show such governments that we are not happy. What's included in any constitution, I suppose, is your right to free speech, your right to movement, your right to fair trials, your right to express yourself as an individual. So we have a freedom of rights in Canada, and we have our constitution, and it's hard to explain to ordinary people what exactly all this fuss is about. By saying, yes, we can say to the sensible people in Quebec, the people who want to stay in Canada, we're willing to share our rights with you.
Okay, well, we won't spend any more time talking about the Constitution. We'll move on to the fishery. Many residents of Burgeo seem to feel that Burgeo is going to fall under the Northern Cod moratorium. Can you foresee this happening?
David, I'm very concerned about the future of Burgeo, and I wish it was as clear-cut as that. Traditionally, I suppose that since the federal government started the allocation of quotas to the various fish companies, I suppose that traditionally Burgeo has processed northern cod. I haven't got all the figures for Burgeo, but I understand that in 1990 it didn't.
Mr. Gilbert's interview will be shown in its entirety following tonight's program. After almost a year, work finally resumed on the Senior Citizens Housing Complex this past week. And, although there was no shortage of work to be done, there was no shortage of people seeking employment either. It has been reported that there are approximately 10 people working at the Seniors Project at present. Several sections of the floor have been poured. As you can see, when we visited the site on Thursday, there were 2 cement trucks on site at that time. The new contractor, Rob Coe, are hoping to have the building watertight before winter sits in. The completion date for the project has been set in the spring of 1993. It was truly a welcome sight to see work finally resume. For years, students at St. John Central High School have been putting out a school yearbook entitled The Endeavor. The last of these publications was in 1979. Now, 12 years later, editor Carrie Lynn Ingram and her committee have completed quite the endeavor as they revived the school yearbook. Are you girls both on the yearbook committee for 1991-92?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you keep the same name that was on the yearbook in years gone by, The Endeavor, or did you change it?
No, we changed it to Memories.
Okay. Was there any particular reason for the change, or?
Well, I guess the main reason for changing it to Memories, the book was put in memory of Dwayne Beggs and Levi Warren.
Okay. So, how are sales going with the yearbook?
We got over half of them, so we ordered 200 in order, that's how many we had to order in order to get the yearbooks. We got over half of them sold.
Okay. So, if anyone wants to purchase a yearbook, who can they contact?
They can contact Miss Abbott or any one of the yearbook staff.
Okay. Who are the yearbook staff? For those who might not know them.
That's myself, and then the rest of them are level 3 students who are going to college right now.
Okay, so if anyone wants a yearbook, they can either contact Miss Abbott or either of you two girls, and you'll take care of it for them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I noticed in the old books there are a number of sponsors mentioned. Did you have any sponsors for your yearbook?
Yeah, we had sponsors, and some of them are Lions Club, Lion Ants, Virgil Pharmacy, Ants Pro Avenue Sporting Goods, Ayers Enterprise Limited, Kathy's Cuts and Curls, Biddy's and Burberry Styling, Midtown Enterprise and Midtown Sales and Services, Seaside Minimart, Divens Bus Line, SLK, Pam's Beauty Salon, TRA, Virgil Food Center, Gloria's Beauty Salon, Spencer Store, CB Lounge, Island Store.
Okay, so what sort of things are in the yearbook?
The yearbook is based on, well, at the beginning there's pictures of all the graduates of 92, and there's pictures of the groups that were in school this year, like the Olympic Club and Travel Club, and school events, the frolics, and the scoop trail.
Okay, and I guess the regular class pictures are in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so as a group, did you girls enjoy making the yearbook?
Yeah, there were some, we did run into some troubles, but overall it was a good experience actually.
Okay, so do you have a yearbook committee this year for our book for 92-93?
Well, as I said before, we have 200 of those. We have to get all those sold in order to pay for them. And then if we get those sold, we will go ahead and make another yearbook this year.
Okay, so once again, if anyone wants to purchase the book, they can contact either Cheryl McDowell, Ellen Marsden, or Ms. Grace Abbott.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, girls, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Okay, well, thanks for speaking with us, and we wish you luck in selling the remainder of your books.
Thank you very much for having us.
Students enrolled in the Adult Basic Education course offered at the United Church Hall had one of their courses outside on Thursday afternoon. John Dobbin, one of the two teachers teaching the Adult Basic Education course currently being offered at the United Church Hall, had the students from that course up on the hockey rink playing hockey on Thursday afternoon as part of their recreation activities. There are 14 students and 2 teachers involved in this $200,000 Canada Employment Outreach Program. The other teacher, former Burgeo resident Carl Dolomont, was not at the rink. Nowhere was it written that adult education couldn't be fun. We visited the Ground Search and Rescue building this past week to see how work is progressing on that project. At the time that we visited, workers were preparing to start shingling the roof. As you can see, they've removed most of the old roofing that was previously on the building. Also, most of the panel boards have been taken off inside the building. Some of the new paneling has been put in place. The extension has been built onto the building, and in that extension a washroom has been added to the building as well. In August, 2 local divers, along with other individuals in our community, floated up an anchor over in the Long Reach. Two local divers, Wayne Billard and Levi Rose, along with Bill Grant, were busy this summer as they prepared to float up an anchor that was lying on the bottom in the Long Reach. The anchor came off an old schooner named the Swivel that was anchored over there some years ago. As they prepared to tow the swivel out to sink the vessel, the anchor got caught up and was cut free. Well, this summer, these 3 gentlemen raised that anchor off the bottom of the ocean and brought it to shore.
Everything's going on there.
Pretty good. 3 on there.
3 out doing? Any sign of a movement?
Oh, we just got.
We just come through.
The divers secured 45 drums to the anchor, which they later filled with air to bring the anchor to the surface.
I think I'll put the other drum on just for good measure because if something happens to one of the drums going over.
Yeah,
you
still.
Let's go see Altmaier again from work. Oh, here comes the tank. He's empty. Oh, they're finished with him. I guess they haven't got to move in yet. Is she coming up, look? Oh, geez, they're blowing bubbles now, dude. You see all that spray of air?
Yeah.
When the tank started to come up, the hair started empty out of them, some of the hair, eh? Got now the bottom, eh? Wait, don't go going for 9 them drum. There he is, right? Well, the hanker's out the bottom, I guess, eh?
It took a total of 8 of these 45-gallon drums to bring the anchor to the surface.
We'll get everybody's not wiring it because some of the drums I'm not hearing now.
Right, we can see
So you give us some of the stoppers, I'll put in the ones that fill up.
Okay.
The chain is on the bottom about 3 feet, but it's a nice bit of chain there. I wonder if we should put a drum on that halfway down.
Have you got a drum on it now?
So on about 3 or 4 lengths from the top part is the ladder. It's not that heavy, you probably tow it, there's no problem.
Well, you figure it's okay?
Once secured, the anchor was towed over to the fisherman's wharf where it was raised with the fisherman's boat hoist. The group later decided to turn the anchor over to the museum. Once the anchor was raised, it was hosed off, placed on Mr. Leslie Escock's truck, and carried into the museum site. And if you haven't seen the anchor since it was raised, it can be seen at the museum site. Jody Bagg, one of our BBS volunteers, took on a special program last year entitled Memories. Memories is a show based mainly on the seniors of our community. She visits their homes and they have conversations dealing with events they encountered throughout their lives. Anything from their childhood, their school days, the war, the fishery of years ago, whatever the person wants to talk about. Well, I'm pleased to inform you that Jody will be continuing with Memories this year. If there are any seniors who wouldn't mind sharing a bit of Burgill's past, we'd be more than happy to talk with you. But it doesn't have to be Burgill's past. If you or someone you know is interested, please call either myself or Jody, and we'll be delighted to talk with you about bygone days. Community events. The Ground Search and Rescue TV Bingo held on Wednesday night was won by Miss Mary Anderson. The LOL will be having a TV Bingo on Wednesday night. Cards are $1 each or 6 for $5 and are available in most stores around town or from any LOL member. Message from the RCMP. It has come to the attention of the police that vehicles are not stopping for the school bus while it is picking up and dropping off school children. This is a very serious problem which can lead to injury or even death if one of the unsuspecting children crosses the street and is hit by an oncoming vehicle. Charges will be laid under the Highway Traffic Act if anyone disobeys the flashing lights on the school bus while it is picking up or dropping off children. More serious charges will be laid if a child is hit by a vehicle. Please obey the flashing lights on our school bus. RCMP Burgeo Detachment. BBS Playbill. Please tune in on Tuesday night at 7 for a recruiting program by the Sea Cadets. On Tuesday night, the BBS volunteers will be putting off a Halloween special at 7:30. And on Saturday morning, of course, there will be story time. And on Wednesday, after bingo, tune in for a church program on the diocesan meeting that was held here on September 14th. Well, that's it for tonight's program. Please stay with us now for Mr. Gilbert's interview in its entirety. On behalf of BBS and all the BBS volunteers, I'm Dave Cooper wishing you a great week. Good night.